This goes without saying, but if you've been around this channel, then you probably already know what I'm going to say. And that is that people are really stupid whenever we view them in a video. So now I guess is your chance, if you're new here, to hit the subscribe button and hit the bell because I have to do YouTuber things, for the algorithm and such. But here's a Persona fan, if you want to call them a fan at all.
So recently, some of the new designs for the new Persona mobile game being made for the Chinese market started being shown off. And as well as designs for the new playable characters, we're also given designs for a bunch of classic S&T demons/shadows, and how they've been reworked for the Chinese market.
Now, if you were hoping for some sort of resolution or some light at the end of the tunnel with this gentleman's statement, well, then you would be dead wrong, because this video is about to go off the rails. And especially with a title, as you may have noticed, it's not going to be so fun.
Which basically amounts to they've been covered up more, for the most part. And so a friend of mine highlighted specifically Succubus's design, where she now has what appears to be a layer of nylon over what used to be exposed skin, and said this design looks cooler than the original. And I agree, personally. I agree so much that I pointed out that this reminds me of that Dead or Alive mobile game for the Chinese market that did something very similar with a bunch of its classic designs. And I said they looked way cooler. Twitter did not like this.
Well, for starters, what does Twitter like? Also, yeah, no one that has a brain in their head thinks that this is a good idea to pretty much censor a game when there was nothing wrong with the original to begin with. These costumes have always been a part of the game, and because the Chinese government wants them to cover it up, okay, fine. But that's not a reason to just willfully go out of your way to say this is a good thing, because it's not.
It was suddenly decided by a bunch of randos who don't know me that I'm apparently pro-censorship just because I like the new designs that were created as a result of censorship. Now, there were people who disagreed with my assessment on these designs, and that's fine. It's fine to have a different take on it. People have different tastes. That's totally fine. If you prefer Rachel showing more skin or Momiji's boob window to be fully open, totally fine. I don't have a problem with that. But then you get the people who got really, really mad about it and decided to judge my entire character based on the fact that I like these designs. As if me saying that I like these designs that happen to be censored versions of other designs means I like them because they are censored and not just because the way they were censored appeals more to me on an aesthetic level, because I've never cared for the overly skimpy outfits. It's why, even though I dislike the overly covered up direction modern Mortal Kombat designs have gone with its ladies, I'm not going to say we should go back to what they did in MK9, because MK9 was a bit extreme.
Well, for starters, let's not ever go to Twitter, the place where good conversation can only come in the form of maybe booba retweets. But as I can see, you're not a man that enjoys that, so let's just cut straight to the chase here. It's okay to dislike the originals if, you're weird like that, I guess, but you have to understand that things that came before were that way for a reason. And your friend, whoever that is, he should know that a succubus gets a lot of her influence from being less dressed. It's not really a mystery, but I figure since we're here, we might as well bring it up.
It works for some characters, but not for others. And even for the ones it does work for, like Melina, I prefer stuff like the MKX one, or that scrapped rework of the Deception design they were going to use for MKX. Just exposed skin to me is boring and comes off incredibly lazy. Like, here's how we're going to appeal to people. Showing off a lot of skin. No, do something more interesting, cooler, something with more character. And so these reworks come along and they have these little extra bits of black that I think add a lot to the designs. Like, I think Kasumi's design looks better with more black instead of just being blue, white, and exposed skin. I think Rachel's outfit here looks like an actual outfit, not just the generic sexy lady in a skimpy outfit that the original version was. And Momiji's massively open cleavage never even made sense for her character anyway, so having a bit of extra black there to cover it up works, and it adds to what we typically imagine of a sexy lady ninja with the mesh undershirt. And then you look at a character like Succubus, and it's like, instead of exposed skin, it's nylon or something, and that is sexy to a lot of people. People saw the Succubus redesign and said, she's not showing off loads and loads of exposed skin, she's meant to be a sex demon, why has she not got tons of exposed skin? I'm not having this. As if exposed skin is literally the only way a person can be sexy.
You know what? I'll agree with you, but I will only agree with you that it's not just a person's skin that makes them appealing sexually, but it can be their mind. However, that doesn't work here, and I think you know that just as well as I do. So, if you look at any type of mythology, you know that a succubus is way back in the day, like the late 1800s, and mostly every single depiction of a succubus or anything thereafter of a seductive woman that steals men's semen in the middle of the night, they are all scantily clad. That's their appeal, is that in your dream state, they steal your semen, almost similar to what you would experience in a wet dream. And that's why they have the appearance that they do. So removing that or covering them up with latex or nylon or something like that where it doesn't show any skin, well, that's going against the entire rule of it, essentially. And of course, I don't expect you to have done research, and don't worry, a lot of people that get covered on this channel don't do research. Thankfully, I do it for them. But you can look at any depiction of these succubus or any creatures thereafter that are meant to do the exact same thing, and their appearance is usually either a naked woman or they have barely anything on. But again, this is something that you would know, and people aren't mad at you for preferring those designs, but when you're going out of your way to antagonize them, well, then that starts to get a target on your back.
You know, at least with Incubus, when they put spandex shorts over him, so instead of having his big, sharp rod exposed all the time, he's covered up. I can understand why you would look at that and say the most iconic part of the design has been removed, and also that spandex shorts. While clearly there are people who find that sexy, it's not quite as common as nylon on a woman, which is obviously a problem when you're looking at the male sex demon, right? So there's more of an argument to be made with that one, I would say. But both my friend and I got shit for liking these redesigns from people who are either of the opinion that only exposed skin is sexy, or that liking something that is censored means you like the censorship.
Now, I would ask for proof of this, but I'm just gonna go ahead and assume that you already were antagonistic towards these people, because typically people don't really care that you like a censored design, but it's how you approach them about liking the censored design. You see what I'm getting at here?
I mean, what, do they watch a show like South Park where they bleep out the words shit and fuck and then say, if you laughed at that joke where they censored those words, you're laughing at it because the words are censored and not because of the words themselves?
Since we want to go on the route of whataboutism, let me go ahead and take you through a little bit of what we like to call clearing the air. See, you wanted to make sure that your point was taken very seriously by using South Park as an example, but that's actually your own undoing. And allow me to explain. You see, here in the good old US of A, we have these different regulatory bodies, such as the ESRB, and the ESRB has rated pretty much most of the Shin Megami series and Persona as M-rated. And I think there's a few exceptions where they're rated T for teen, but when they are rated M, you can see that they have blood or they have something like sexual content in it. You know, scantily clad women. So if you are already trying to move the goalpost by bringing up South Park, well, let's look up a case of South Park then. And if you remember, then you remember. But way back in the long ago, they had an episode of South Park that had criticized a certain religious figure, and it was thusly removed from every part of the catalog. So there's no way for you to ever really watch it unless someone was nice enough to put it online for you to see. But because of that, people cried out censorship. No one's really upset about the bleeping or censoring of swear words because there are standards on television, especially during certain hours and on certain channels. So I don't really know what you're getting at here, but it sounds like you don't know what you're talking about. And also, there's Muffler Guy. If you're new to this channel, Muffler Guy he's a character.
It's just lunacy. It's such a terrible, awful, ill-conceived argument. And it shows how desperate people are to have some kind of moral crusade. I mean, we saw it with the Hogwarts Legacy thing a few months ago. Moral crusades appeal to the most awful people because it gives them free license to be awful people. Because if they're campaigning against people playing a video game based on an IP owned by a TERF, that means they can argue that, well, you're harming trans people. I'm the hero here. I have the moral high ground. I'm here fighting injustice, so I have free license to do whatever I want because I'm in the right.
Now, here's the thing, Slick. I don't think that you understand how this works. You don't get to antagonize people, then run into your hidey hole, and then try to say, look at all of these people, they're being mean to me. That's not how that works. And also, let me go ahead and tell you the thing about Hogwarts Legacy, because I haven't really been around to really care that much, because I just don't feel like playing anything that is Harry Potter. And I think people that know me know this already. But the thing is that you shouldn't be buying anything that's Hogwarts Legacy or Harry Potter anyways. I don't give a shit who makes it. It could be J.K. Rowling that makes it, or it can be Jay-Z that makes it. I would still campaign against it because it's nerd shit. And I'm not a fan of nerd shit, so I don't think anybody should be buying it. But, that aside, I think that you're taking the wrong approach about this. People that are criticizing you specifically, not the other people about Hogwarts Legacy, like let's just be real here, they don't really care. But if they're criticizing you specifically, then I guess that's just what it is. They're not harassing you. They're not on a moral crusade. I would say, if anything, they've been telling you why this position of yours is really fucking stupid.
What's that? You like these Chinese censorships, or you're trying to increase your social credit? I'm going to throw a bunch of obscene things at you on Twitter because I'm the good guy in this situation, because I don't like censorship. You clearly do. People who think they are morally correct are capable of the worst things. And people who want to do the worst things are attracted to opportunities to do so. And we as a society just don't fight back against that kind of attitude enough. So we're at a point where people will argue that if you like this altered design where a character is more covered up, that you're a bad person. Fucking absurd.
Now, I didn't have to look that hard, and I really didn't have to even do a whole lot of anything to find a tweet where you're being antagonistic to people. And if you might be incapable of reading, well, don't worry, I'm going to read it out to you because I think it's kind of hilarious. It says, if you think liking a censored design makes one pro-censorship, you should delete your account and fuck off to where no one has to witness the shit dribbling from between your ears again, you brain-dead, cretinous dipshit. Now, I'm not going to go out of my way and say that this was unprovoked, but it definitely doesn't make me be on your side when all I see is this weird snapping for no reason, because I guess people said that it's probably not so good to delete the artistic integrity of a thing that existed before. Crazy, I know.
And I'd also like to make the observation that all these people complaining about these designs, about Succubus being covered up, about Incubus having these spandex shorts, I didn't see a single one of those arseholes complaining that Hellbiker no longer has a skull face, he has a mask on, and it makes him look atrocious. No one complained about that, even though that's also censorship. It's just censoring a different thing. That's censoring skeletons, because Chinese media has a big issue with skeletons being depicted. This has been known for decades. But that is not something people complain about. People only complain about it when their sexy female demon designs are not allowed to show as much skin. Either it's all okay, or none of it's okay. If you take issue with Succubus having her skin covered up, or Incubus no longer having his spiky demon cock, then you have to also not be okay with Hellbiker's redesign. You have to also complain and campaign against that.
Sometimes I feel like you just don't know what you're saying, because it didn't even take me like a minute to find somebody that already took issue with the Hellbiker design. And trust me, I would be complaining too, but I don't care about Persona. But even then, people just didn't like it. And even if it's one person, they are calling out all of this bad stuff as far as censorship goes. So either you don't know what you're talking about, or you're being incredibly facetious, which I think we can already guess which one you're being.
If you don't, then you are not worth listening to, because clearly you don't care about censorship. You don't. That's not what this is about. This is about the fact that you can't jack off to the female demon designs anymore. That's all you care about, because you have the sexual maturity of a 14-year-old who thinks that the only thing that is sexy in the world is exposed skin.
So just because we're going to be in this video for just a few seconds longer, I feel like it's important to point out that just because a design is censored doesn't mean that we're angry that we can't masturbate to them. In fact, I don't think that that's what people were upset about. If anything, I've seen the Persona fan base, or at least the ones that actually care about it, want to see the old designs again because that's what they saw originally and it was peak character design to them. And that's fine. And even if we wanted to take that away from it and remove this part of it, you're still mad at people for the thing that you're accusing them of. You see how you're going out of your way to attack these people because they think differently from you? That's how this is going down right now. In fact, it should just be noted that if you don't like the designs, that's perfectly fine. There's people calling me Chinese shills anyways. Me and another good friend of mine for playing the funny Nikkei game with the jiggling asses. But you know what? It's very easy. I'm going to let you in on an insider secret here. You can just not care what they say. In fact, you don't have to worry about it at all. Unless you're in their house paying their bills and paying their rent, I don't think that you really have a say on what people should enjoy. So if they want to masturbate to sexy succubus or the spiky cock guy, then by all means, they should be able to voice their concern on the greatest town square ever known to man, twitter.com, which it exists. It's definitely a thing. You should not look for positive reinforcement on Twitter.
And so, to summarise, I like the redesigns of some of these demons. Not all of them. I don't care for Incubus. I think the way they did that was lame and lazy. And I don't like the Hellbiker one, obviously. But with the designs like Succubus, I like what they've done with it. There are certainly much worse ways they could have censored it. And I think this was done well enough and remains true to the concept of the female sex demon. I like the tweaks to the designs of the DOA girls in that mobile game, because the black adds a lot to the design where it's not just generic uncovered flesh. It adds a nice bit to the colour balancing. I like the stockings that Mithra was given in Smash Bros. They look really nice. Just because something comes from a bad place doesn't mean it is necessarily bad. Good things can come from bad places just as bad things can come from good places.
So I don't get what your position is here because it doesn't make any sense. Earlier, you were saying that it's fine to be against censorship as long as you were fine with, all of the other things that they were censoring up. Obviously, if you're going to campaign against one, you should campaign against all of them. And you see, you're not doing that. You're being very inconsistent. You're saying that it's good that these designs are covered up, and they think that some of the other ones are just not that well done. Okay, well then, why should any of them be changed? If we're just going on about how these things are censored and if they're different, then we should keep that same energy for that. And I don't think that we are, bro. I'm going to go ahead and just keep it real with you. If you're wanting this thing to, make you not as hated on twitter.com, then maybe you should stop saying the stupid shit out loud. And something I kind of just thought of, why are you so concerned that it's only the females that are getting this new treatment? Obviously, that's kind of weird that you would only bring up that you like the female ones, but why not the males? I don't know. Maybe there's no deeper meaning. I think we're pretty much done here.
And one last thing here, don't say someone's opinion is bad just because you disagree with it. Explain why you disagree with it.
I'm going to go ahead and just politely tell you, no.
Because an opinion's value is not in who has it, it's in how well that person can back it up and explain it. If all you have is, your opinion is wrong, then I'm sorry, your opinion is dog shit. It has no value.
But look what you just did. Do you not see what you just said? How are their opinions bad? I mean, your opinion is dog shit too. So here we are. We are stuck at an impasse.
And this is something that I've had to deal with for years, because I put out a 2 or 4 hour video about a Mortal Kombat game explaining in extreme detail why I think this thing is bad, and they say, nah, actually it's good though. The ones you like are bad, and that's all they have to say. That's worthless. You're worthless. You are a waste of space and a waste of time. And you and your worthless opinions are worth no more consideration than that.
So we literally didn't accomplish anything. So you like the designs. Fantastic. No one else does. And that's pretty much where we are. You didn't even accomplish anything other than to tell people that if they are mad, then they should stay mad. And you're glad that they're mad. So who's really the biggest loser here? It's most certainly not the people on twitter.com. It's not the people in the comments, because again, people are going to hate you for doing whatever it is you do. There's going to be someone in my comments probably tomorrow saying how wrong I am. And you know what? That's fantastic. I'm happy for them. But I honestly don't even really care. In fact, I don't think any of this matters. You have to understand something. Because people don't like your opinion on these new censored outfits, doesn't mean that you have to go out of your way to scream at them. That's the title of your video. You can see it right there. The name of your salty ass video is I like these censored designs better, and I'm glad you're upset about it. And then you put in the hashtags, those hating me deserve to be upset. Well, those that give you the compliments that you get on twitter.com, I'm calling them compliments because that's my prerogative. They're giving you nice criticism and feedback, but I think that they have a right to be mad at you too. I think that if you're going to go out of your way to make this video to, cry about how people don't like my opinions, then I think that you should be ready for whatever comes next. And I'm no hero for the people that are anti-censorship, trust me. I think there's a couple of things that look good censored, but I also don't cry about it on twitter.com and then get mad and make a whole 8-minute video about how mad I am. Just learn to roll with the punches, I guess, bro. I don't know what else to tell you. It's something that you're thinking way too deep about. But at least we can finally end this video here. Sorry I've been gone, and I'm gonna be gone again because, what better way to celebrate than to get the stupid out there so people can laugh at it. But I'm gonna see you guys later, and we're gonna have fun video game streams. Whenever those happen, of course. And if you guys don't know already, I'll see you at Anime Expo 2023.